what sparked your interest in the program? Why is this something that you wanted to do and um, put on your resume, have be a part of you um, and see what you could do? What sort of started all that for you?
Absolutely. So my story is a little unique. At 6 days old, I went to my first junior miss at the time practice because my mom was a local director. So I grew up with that little 2025 junior miss onesie that was made for me. And I really just grew up with the whole program. I saw these really smart and fabulously talented girls not only working hard to accomplish their goals, but also support each other. And so that meant the world to me. I mean, I would always see my dad do crutches, and I would be like, "Why are you doing junior miss?" Because to me, it was my life for a really long time. And then eventually we moved, and then we kind of stepped away from that because we were in a very new area. And so we weren't able to start a new program. But eventually it got changed to the UIW, and I found out about it around sophomore year. I got interested. I was like, so when can I join? And then I got involved, and it was fabulous. I loved every second of it.
Yeah, and everybody is having these unique sort of stories too, about where they heard about it from. Mostly though, many of them are saying, it was through word of mouth that they had never heard of it, they'd never seen it before. You're a different case, of course, because you've seen it from such a young age. Um, but for the most part, many of these girls are saying, this was I just overheard somebody talking about it and said maybe I could do that, looked it up and decided to do it. Um, which is great, but that just means we got to work harder to get it into more schools, into more systems, into more people's minds. And um, so this is where y'all are going to come in. This is where we're looking for, advice and ideas, I guess, of how we can do that. So, what do you hope to gain now that you are the state rep? Is there anything that you want to do? By the way, state rep of Georgia, which is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Um, what are you hoping to achieve now that you are the state rep and maybe even garner new participants and get more girls excited to join the program?
Absolutely, that is my main goal. We have historically had a very strong program in Georgia. However, through time and COVID and other things like that, it's diminished. However, its importance and its impact has not. And I really just want to talk to girls through social media, especially because that is where everyone sees everything, and just go to schools as well to talk about this wonderful program and the amazing things it has to offer.
Well, we can't wait for you to do that and to let us know how that goes. Because
I'm so sorry, my dogs.
that's okay. I did one of these in the house the other night, and my dogs are doing the same thing. Um, but a- again, that's sort of what we're hoping to do. We want to drive this engagement and this involvement through social media and really take advantage of these platforms that we have at our fingertips. And what better way to do that than with the girls who literally grew up in the era of social media and hopefully there are girls at home watching these videos, getting inspired, getting excited and, geared up to want to do something like this because it means so much. There's so many benefits and perks to the program, even if you don't win. So if you would not have won this, do you think you still would have gained as much out of it as now that you are the state rep for Georgia?
Absolutely. I gained the world. Just the relationships you build with those girls is so imperative to our growth. And I grew so much confidence over time with the life skills workshops and all the things. It makes me feel so much more prepared, especially going into college and then eventually applying to jobs and stuff like that. So I feel so much better about who I am and being the best version of myself.
And that's again another big takeaway that I'm hearing repeatedly from y'all, the confidence that you're gaining, the relationships that you're building. And now that you are the state rep, when you get here in June, you're going to meet somebody from every single state. And that is so rare for people. You're likely never going to have that chance again. And you're going to get to see all these perspectives from different areas of the country and where they came from, what inspired them. And one of the initiatives or sort of programs that we want to cultivate this year that I've mentioned in my previous interviews, it's called Ripple Effect. And it's something our executive director came up with to sort of help drive the engagement and drive that participation through that one small gesture that can
Mhm.
happen. So this one quick interview that we're doing together can really spark that desire in somebody else to want to join the program because they heard from you. They're like, oh, I see myself in Abby. I can do that. Or maybe even for the volunteers, that one volunteer is making it even possible for that local program to even be happening. And then, of course, for our sponsors and those scholarship dollars that we get, it's only possible through those donations. So those small gestures may seem like nothing, but they make such a big difference. Do you have any suggestions on how we can continue to build these relationships and this excitement and drive and engagement? I keep using that word engagement um, in order to keep this going. And so we can have 68 more years of this.
Mhm. I really think social media is going to be the best way and getting it into schools as well, especially high schools. Every high school has clubs and a club fair specifically. I think it would be imperative and an amazing way to talk about the program with the people that really need to know about it is going into those schools and also talking to the parents as well, even if it was just a little blip in a slide or something like that. I mean, in high school, sometimes we'll get lists of scholarship opportunities, and DYW should be on those lists.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe that's something that you can start in Georgia and bring that mission that you helped curate um, to other girls when we meet them and into these schools who again may have not even heard of it. There are some communities so small out there that don't have this help, this idea yet because they've never heard of it. So we really want to drive that and get that into the hands of these girls who otherwise may not have an opportunity to get a scholarship or to go to college at all because they can't afford it. And that's one of our biggest, obviously, missions here is to get all these girls to college for a much lower cost. So tell me about your success thus far. What have you done leading up to your state program to prepare yourself? What advice would you give girls who are just getting started? They may be a little nervous, a little apprehensive, and maybe they don't feel confident yet in themselves. What did you do leading up to sort of prepare for that?
I prepared in a number of ways, mock interviews, obviously, but just getting to have a better sense of who I am was a lot of it because they're not looking to compare you with anybody else. They're looking to see, do you know who you are and what you want to be? And that is truly the biggest thing. It's about bettering yourself in every aspect, getting better grades or striving for a better physical um, like stamina and strength. That was a big thing. Hit the gym if you want to do DIW, but it truly made me a better person in all of that.
Yeah, and I think again another big takeaway from it is gaining these things that you really thought you could never do before. And something that I keep saying in these interviews is you can do hard things. So
Absolutely.
the fitness portion of the program may seem way out of reach for you, but you can do it. You just have to prepare and practice. If it's important to you, you'll do it. And I mean, those push-ups, they're challenging. So
They
you gotta get ready for that.
Exactly.
It's not just going to come to you. But like that's with anything. So if it's important to you, you're gonna
Exactly.
succeed.
It's
Um,
daunting. But
yeah.
honestly, one thing that I always say is that you can't grow in places that you are comfortable and
Mhm.
just fine enough. So it's good to step out of that, be a little uncomfortable because you will grow the most there.
Yep, absolutely. And as you know, one of our big initiatives that we have is Be Your Best Self, and we're going to have that Be Your Best Self week is in April every year. So, do you have any ideas or things that you want to bring into these classrooms when you go and visit and talk? Do you have any ideas yet of what you're going to be doing for that specific week or even throughout the year?
Specifically, I do want to go to elementary schools to read to kids. Literacy is a big thing for me. It's a problem that's constant, and I really want to encourage people to read. Not only will it help with their scholastics, but it helps them grow as people and have great thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, I just got a Kindle a couple of years ago and it's helped me keep up with my reading. And it's so helpful because there's words in there that are like, what is that? What does that mean? And you can highlight that word and it tells you the definition in the palm of your hands. It is so easy that access is there, but not everybody has access to
Yeah.
that. And so it's so important that we do bring these tools and teaching moments to the younger generation so that they know to reach for the stars and that they can do these things, even if they don't know that specific vocabulary word yet. Um, Okay, well, that's really all I have. Do you have any advice for somebody who may want to join the program from what you've learned or um, maybe figured out about yourself along the way?
hmm My biggest advice is just take the step. I mean, you can only do so much if you're stagnant. So just learn a little bit more, even if you're only a little bit interested. Just keep going because it's truly a wonderful program, and anyone who learns about it knows that.